Now, I just want to ask a simple question to those of you who just observe what you've just noted down. What is your understanding from what you've just written? Anybody can stand up and tell me that? What is the understanding from this?
Self-esteem leads to growth.
Yeah.
And growth leads to further improving on self-esteem.
Brilliant.
Through evaluation process.
Wow, let's applaud him, guys. I think I recognize the voice, but who was that who just spoke?
Aditya.
Aditya, brilliant Aditya. You almost nailed it. To the rest of you who are still pondering over this. Yes, end of the day, your evaluation should focus on improving the self-esteem of the speaker. The speaker who comes and delivers his or her speech and you are the evaluator. In your 3-minute evaluation, just try to focus on improving the speaker's self-esteem. If you do that, there is, as the speaker, psychologically would also feel that he or she is growing. By growth, we mean progress here. And of course, that growth improves his or her self-esteem and it goes in a cyclic ad infinitum, endless cycle like that. All thanks to your, please note the word we wrote, feed forward. Now that's something I take away from Marshall Goldsmith. Anybody here has heard of Marshall Goldsmith? No? Marshall Goldsmith? Okay, what got you here won't get you there is a very good book that I recommend you read. Marshall Goldsmith says, in life, try to focus on feed forwards, not feedback. So, when you tell someone something, you don't want them to go back to where they were, but you want them to go forward from where they are. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. So, here's what we do now. So, very quickly, keeping the contest in mind, the four main parameters or components of your evaluation, which you need to focus on, based on the scoring breakup in a contest, are as follows. Are you ready? Your analysis of the speech, 40%. Let me repeat that. Your analysis of the speech, 40%. Your recommendations to the speaker, 30%. Please note, this is a scoring breakup. So that when you prepare your evaluation, presentation, you'll keep this weightage in mind. Next, motivating the speaker, 15%. And finally, your summary or recap of your evaluation, 15%. If you add all that up, you'll see 40, 30, 15, 15, you get 100%. Now, obviously, to make your own evaluations of scoring, you can do this on 100, which means if you're looking at the analysis of speech, what marks would that be over 100? 40 over 100, right? So, if you're very good, you may get a 39, you may get a 40, or you can get 35. If you're not too good, you get 15, 20. So, obviously, that's how the judges will be scoring you on that parameter, right? If your recommendations based on your analysis is good, how many marks on 30 on 100 is that? 30. And of course, the remaining is 15 on 100, 15 on 100. But if you want to do it on a scale of 10, to make it easy for you again, in case you want, practice this today, for example, you're going to have icebreaker speeches, you're going to have a few other speeches. For project 2, you can do some scale of 10. On a scale of 10, obviously, your analysis will be how many marks on 10? 4 marks. So if your analysis is good, you get 4 out of 10. And of course, on a scale of 10, your recommendation is 3 marks. And it's 1.5 marks for motivating and 1.5 marks for recap and summarize. Now, you may then ask me, Jai, that means motivating somebody is only as low as 1.5? The answer on mathematically is yes. But what happens if you don't motivate the speaker is you automatically lose that 15%. Which means very often, from what I understood in contest, judges do look at the speaker's face or expression when you're evaluating them to see do they look despondent, depressed and glum, or they start smiling. And so you may earn that 15%, which could so easily be the little edge you needed to come out the winner. Because there could be so many other good evaluators who are already scoring 40 and 30. So what sets you apart out of 3 or 4 people could be that element of 15% motivation and 15% of classic, very good recap. Does that make sense, everybody? You clear? Yes. Now here's then what I'll go straight into on how therefore you could become a good evaluator in the short time you have as the speaker speaks. Typically, any speaker in Toastmasters on an average would be giving you a 5 to 7 minute speech. Except for the icebreakers, which are 4 to 6 minutes. But don't worry about that so much. If you're going to be contesting, you're not going to contest an icebreaker speech, okay? So, you will be evaluating a test speaker, a time speaker, and it will be a 5 to 7 minute speech. What I would suggest you do as the speaker comes up and starts speaking is divide your book or a page into two halves. Which means you fold a page into two this way, you have a vertical line, am I right?
Yes.
You'll have two columns then, am I correct?
Yes.
On the left column on the top, write down what I liked. Just write down what I liked. That's all. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes. Yes.
And on the right column on the top, just write down my recommendation. Now, there are other ways of rephrasing this. These are just simple guidelines for you. This is just like a framework you could work on. Okay, what I like can easily be what I love, which is something I love to say in my evaluations. I typically like to say to the speaker what I loved about your speech. So what I like can be what I love. It can even be what I really take away from your speech. These are variations you can all, individually craft based on that theme of what you like. It can be what I take away from you, or what I really loved about your speech, etc. So that's the left column. On the right column, my recommendations could also be my suggestions, or it could even be areas of improvement, or points to improve. It could be any of those. I mean, it's up to you. But this is what I'm asking you to keep in mind as the speaker speaks. Now, as the speaker therefore delivers his or her speech, whatever you notice that are positives. Don't have to be grammatically correct. You don't have to have full sentences. Whatever is good for you. Great eye contact. Loved his attire. Professional. Confident. Great vocal variety. Voice modulation. Rhetorical devices. Just bang, 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 bang as you observe it as the speaker speaks. Note it down in your books in the left column. Does that make sense, everybody? Don't have to write down, I like the speaker's voice modulation. No, just write a voice modulation. Vocal variety. Eye contact. Hand movements. Stance. I mean, these are examples, guys. Can you guys shout out some other things that could be positives? Anybody? Confidence. Energy. Anything else that in any speech that could be positives? Humor. Brilliant. That's a very good point, by the way. Humor. Okay. So exactly as you said, list all those down without thinking too much. Don't analyze anything yet. Only capture these positives in words. Right. So you end up with a laundry list of maybe even 8, maybe 9, even 10 such positives you may have noticed. Am I right?
Yes.
Right? Maybe 8 or 10 or maybe less, I don't know, but at least you have 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And on the right column under recommendations and observe whatever you notice that you think the speaker could do better. Such as you could write down nervousness or excessive stage movement. No eye contact. Now please don't, you can't have both of them in the same speech. on the left column you have a great eye contact, on the right column you have no eye contact, and that's bizarre. Okay? But these are examples of what you would have noticed. Okay? Of course they should not contradict. Okay? But you could have, for example, vocal variety, as an area of improvement, for example. Or it could be repetitive, poor structure, opening body, transition of thought, not clear, etc., etc. So again, you're going to have a laundry list. So you're going to have a list of 7, 8, 9, 10 such. Now, once you've done that, your 80% of your work is complete as an evaluator. Because you have the body. You have exactly the content or the matter with which you're working. Now here's where you have to be a little creative, because you've noted down the points, but you will have at least 3 to 5 minutes before you have to step up to give your evaluation. Typically in a Toastmaster meeting such as this, you'll wait until all speakers finish speaking, and then you have enough time to, maybe you have a networking break, a tea break. If you're diligent, you will not go out for the break, you'll sit and craft your evaluation, which is something I do. Okay, I'll take a coffee, come back and just do that. What you do then is, you look at all those list of points you've taken down as pluses and the list of points you've taken down as areas of improvement, and narrow them down to the absolute 3 that you think are really relevant. Let me repeat what I said. That means from all the list of positives noted, eye contact, smile, nice shirt, great stance, good, blah blah blah, all that you've written down, right? Take down just 3, you'll tell yourself, okay, just read it quickly, you'll go, not so important, not so important. Yes, this one 1 star mark, then go down the list, 2 stars, 3 stars. And narrow it down to 3 things you picked out as what you really loved about that speaker's speech. Is that making sense, everybody?
Yes.
The rest of them can be eliminated. That's your note, but you don't have to bring it up. Just bring out the 3 most important ones that you have to tell the speaker, I love this about your speech, man. Today the speaker said this, and this is what I really like. These are the 3. And go to the right column now and narrow everything down to 3 things. that you think will be of absolutely value add to the speaker. That means if I say these three, the rest are also important, but these three are the most important ones. I think they must incorporate. Once you have that, do what you think is, what comes easy to you in terms of presenting it in 3 minutes. You do you'll do your usual good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and the speaker, especially whatever you're doing. Okay, now I'm going to give you a template as I close this education session, but please note that the 3 positives and the 3 areas of improvement is a guideline for all of you. You can always have 2 and 2, or 2, 3 and 3, 2. You follow what I'm saying, everybody?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be mandatorily 3 things you have to say and 3 things you have to tell them to improve. It can be 2 and 2 or 2 and 3, 3 and 2. But please note, cut it off at 3. Don't go beyond 3. Don't come up with 4 things I liked about your speech and 5 areas of improvement. That's not going to make the speaker feel too good. What I said was positives were 4, but he's got 8 areas of improvement. That makes me delighted. No, it doesn't. Okay. So my technique, which usually works for me, is I keep what I really love about your speech as 3 things, and what I like to suggest as improvement is 2. Let me repeat that. That works pretty well because I say 3 is what I like and 2, which means what I love or the positives are 1 more than the area of improvement, right? Typically, people psychologically feel better. I had 1 thing better, that was likable than an area of improvement. But you use a judgment. It doesn't really matter. It's not so hard and fast. If you do that, finally I'm going to give you some templates that may use in terms of how you actually deliver this presentation. Some very useful templates you can use. I'm going to give you the lines. You have to fill in the dashes yourself, which you can then work out in your own words. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Alright, I've told you how the breakup is for scoring. I've told you how you could quickly now come up with your list of goods, the positives and areas of improvement. Now how can you just put it together so that it comes, how can you have bring this into, I was trying to use correlation, that doesn't work in this particular sentence. So. Alright, so anyways, here's what works. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and the name of the speaker. Okay, I do not recommend personally and the speaker in particular because that seems very cliche. So just the name of the speaker. Today, our speaker spoke with dash. Now, anybody in this room can quickly shout out what the dashes would be?
Confidence.
Right, good. Confidence.
Excitement.
Enthusiasm. Excitement. Passion. Energy. What else? Motivation. Yeah, etc. So today the speaker spoke with dash. Whatever you think was relevant in the dash, put that in the dash. On dash. Now what is the on dash? That is what the speaker spoke. Or you say on. Hellish traffic in Bangalore. On the need for example, renewable energy in the coming years, etc. Whatever the speaker spoke about, that will be the second on. So today, this speaker spoke with dash, on dash. What I really loved about their speech was, and then you'll have those 3 things you have shortlisted, correct?
Yeah.
So you will say those. Bang, bang, bang. That's where you have a little bit of expansion now. When you say what I really loved about the speaker's speech was enthusiasm, confidence, and humor, then please give 1 or 2 examples of where was the humor used. You don't simply say humor. For example, when the speaker said this, oh, that was funny, etc. So give an example of this. So let me repeat that. Those 3 shortlisted positives that you take away, expand that to say, as an example, these were why I thought she had confidence, because she came up and stood straight, or he came up and he was able to have great eye contact with all members of the audience and great voice projection, confidence speaker. So give an example of why you felt those 3 positives. Then after that, you've done that, you will then conclude with, if I may suggest or recommend some areas that could be looked at or considered, then we talk about those 3 that we're going to come. So far, very clear?
Yes.
Please never use the word, however I feel the speaker should. Or if the speaker does this, he or she will. Don't use definitive statements. Don't say the speaker should do this. Don't say, if you do this, you will become a better speaker. No. I'll repeat this one more time. Please pay attention. If I may suggest some considerations. The speaker may wish to consider. May wish to consider. It's up to the speaker whether he or she incorporates your suggestion or not. That's right, right? There's no rule here. Whatever you say does not necessarily be incorporated. So if you wish to consider this, here are some areas in which. Therefore, to recap what I just said, you had great, bang, bang, bang. This time don't expand everything. This time when you give the positives repetition as a summary, don't repeat examples. Just say, you had all this and these were the areas you could improve. Overall, it was a brilliant speech. Or you could say, I'm sure as you go forward, you want to start leaving me speechless or something like that. No, something like that. That's up to you. Now, finally, I would like to just leave you with something very important as a tip. You have only 3 minutes, right? For your evaluation. 180 seconds, am I right?
Yes.
So how would you break that up to give your evaluation? So here's my recommendation. Please have 30 seconds as your opening. Okay. 2 minutes for your analysis and your recommendations. And 30 seconds as your summary, recap, and thank you. And all that. Alright? So if you look at it, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds is 3 minutes. Now, you don't have to be so precise. I'm not asking you to be exactly, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, etc. But this is a very good benchmark. The 30 second opening will, of course, include your good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and the speaker, because the timer starts from that moment already, right? So make sure that you have that first half a minute to do that. Today, and you can go straight into them. Today, we heard a brilliant speech. With so much energy and whatever it is, you're going to fill up those words. I've given you the template, right? You may of course tweak it in your own words, but this is a great way to begin or rehearsing or practicing your evaluations. Once you become good at it, you can become more creative. Finally, I do not recommend, this is my personal opinion, evaluators who are very creative and do things like, today I thought your speech was shit. S-H-I-T, and then it goes stupendous, humorous, intellectual. No, already you've created as a gone. So it's a very, it's not a good technique because people ask this question, what about things like acronyms, etc. If it works and it has worked in the past, you know, go with it, but do not use such negative acronyms trying to be clever and then giving it a positive thing. Don't do that because it defeats the purpose. Some judges don't like that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my 20-minute nugget for all of you on how you could become a better evaluator using these pointers. I think I have 2 or 3 minutes now. Timekeeper, I have 2 minutes?
No,
Just cross 25?
just 20 minutes.
It's just 20 now. Cool. You've been a great audience, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up the education session for Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster.
I was standing for you.
Thank you. Exactly.